In this video, I'm going to show you everything you need to know when you're comparing the Focusrite Vocaster 1 against the Focusrite Vocaster 2. Now, there are two big differences when comparing both of these to one another. There's a whole bunch of small differences as well that I'm going to point out, but two big ones that you should be aware of as you go through and compare both of these devices. Now, first of all, if you are looking for current and up-to-date pricing, we do have links down in the description below to help you find the best price possible from a variety of online retailers if you are looking at buying one of these items. Now, the first question that we often get when we compare the Focusrite Vocaster 1 to the Vocaster 2 is, do they share the same microphone preamp? Is it the same preamp in both of these? And the answer is yes. You get a 70 dB microphone preamp in both of these audio interfaces, which is more than enough to power something like the Shure SM7B without needing any extra equipment whatsoever. You can connect those microphones directly to the audio interface, and it has more than enough power for you. All right, on the rear of both of these audio interfaces, we can see the first main difference between the two. On the back of the Focusrite Vocaster 1, you can see only one XLR input, and on the back of the Focusrite Vocaster 2, you can see that it has two different XLR inputs, giving you an extra channel so you can record two people instead of one. As we walk through the rest of this audio interface, you can see that you do get 48 volts of phantom power for both of these audio interfaces, so you can use a condenser microphone with both of them if you wish. You do get that 3.5 millimeter TRRS jack on the back of either one of these as well. This allows you to input audio from a phone or mobile device, as well as stream audio out to that same phone or mobile device at the same time. Next, we find the second really big difference between both of these devices here. On the back of the Focusrite Vocaster 1, there is no Bluetooth on it whatsoever. And on the back of the Vocaster 2, you do see that there is an option to connect a Bluetooth device. Now, this will work for connecting remote callers from a phone or laptop or something like that. So not only will you be able to listen to them, but they'll also be able to hear everything else going on your podcast. It also sets up a mix minus for them so they don't hear themselves coming back with a delay. Makes it really easy to bring in remote guests, and that's something that you can only do on the Vocaster 2 and you can't do on the Vocaster 1. Aside from that, the rest of the rear panel here is identical. You can connect studio monitors to the back using the left-right outputs. There's a 3.5 millimeter jack so you can feed the audio from your Vocaster and your podcast mix out to a video camera to make it really easy to record. You find the USB connectivity and the power button as well as the Kensington lock slot on it as well. Next, let's take a quick look at the top of both of these devices and see how they compare to one another. On the Vocaster 1 here, you do get the ability to set your gain. The one side will turn into a white halo showing your input gain that you're using on the microphone, and the other side will always show you the level. It's a little bit different on the Vocaster 2. Obviously, you need to select your channel first. You can always see the input level on both microphones, left and right. And then when you adjust the gain, you get this white halo around the big knob showing you your input level for the channel that you have selected. So if I select the other channel, it will be slightly different, but then you can always see the meter here. On the Vocaster 1, you get a big knob for your monitor outputs or headphone. You can connect the headphone jack on the front. Same thing on the Vocaster 2, except this is separated to keep it nice and easy. You get a volume knob for the host headphones and studio monitors or the guest headphones on the front of the device as well. Aside from that, we do find very similar controls for working with these devices. You do get a mute button on the Vocaster Solo. You can turn on the enhancements. We'll take a look at the software in a second. And you can select auto gain if you want. This will automatically set the gain for this microphone. On the Vocaster 2, you can mute one microphone. If you press it on that side, you can turn on or off the enhancements, and you can select the channel that you're using. So single press to select, and then long press if you want to set auto gain on this device. On the other side of the audio interface, we find the same thing. You can select the channel or long press if you want to do auto gain. You can turn on or off the audio enhancements here, and you can mute the microphone as well. If we take a look over at the computer, we can see how the software works on the Vocaster 1. You can select your mic level here as well. You can click auto gain. You can turn on audio enhancements. Click one of the presets if you want. You can adjust those presets if you want to fine tune them, and you can mute the microphone here as well. On the audio mixer portion, we find that you have volume control for the host, that 3.5 millimeter aux input, and two loopback controls. So if you are sending sounds from your computer, you can use these to mix those in and your overall mix. If you're using the Focusrite Vocaster 2 with your computer, it does look a little bit different. You get all the controls for the host and the guest, so it's doubled up compared to the Vocaster 1. You get 48 volts of phantom power control per microphone if you want. Aside from that, you get similar controls for either microphone that you can mute or turn on enhancements. The same presets and the same auto gain button are available. And if you want to fine tune those presets, you can do that as well. Now on the bottom of this, we do find some small differences compared to the Vocaster 1. Obviously, you can mix microphone 1 for the host and microphone 2 for the guest. You get the aux input, but then you do get volume control for that Bluetooth input on the Vocaster 2 that you don't have for the Vocaster 1. Then you find the same two loopback controls that you have for Vocaster 1 and the show mix. So when we're looking at comparing both of these devices straight across from each other, we find a lot of subtle differences with the layout and that type of thing. But the big ones are that you get an extra XLR input on the Vocaster 2, and you get that Bluetooth connectivity on the Vocaster 2 as well that you don't get on the Vocaster 1. That Bluetooth connectivity is actually a really big deal. If I was comparing both of these devices, I would say that the Bluetooth alone is worth getting the Vocaster 2, even if you only intend a single person podcast. Now, you also get the benefit of always having that extra XLR input. It's always better to have more than less. So I would say even if you think you're only recording one microphone at a time, I would still recommend getting the Vocaster 2 because that extra input will come in handy every once in a while, probably more than you think. And that Bluetooth input is actually a really big deal when you're doing remote callers. And I think that that makes the difference for me recommending the Vocaster 2 over the Vocaster 1. I hope this video has been helpful. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down in the comment section below. And if you want to see more videos like this in the future, please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.